April the 12th, 2024. Guys, this morning in an email I received two links from a good friend of our channel and our family. A lot of you know her as Miss Phyllis Tatton. But she sent me two videos of the same event, but different YouTubers putting their 2 cents into what they thought this anomaly was. And so I looked in it, did some research, went back into history, and looking at what may be going on here. But this is, again, it happened on the 9th, the day after the eclipse. So what we're seeing on the 9th here are three asteroids, starting here with the BP-13, coming to here. And the closest one of these on that day was 0.3 LD, which is a third the distance to the moon. So you're dealing with 80 to 90,000 miles at that point. That changes, that LD changes, and that's what they're talking about. 1/3 of the lunar distance between the Earth and the moon, because the moon gets closer and gets further away. But at 0.3 LD, that's one of the closer ones you'll see. So I just want to focus on the 9th because that's important. And what will happen if there's something big coming closer? I don't think we get told about those. I think they don't want to scare anybody or panic anybody. And another thing that I've seen in the radar of some of these asteroid streams, guys, is they may pick up one or two of them, but they have what they call companions. And the radar may not pick that up. And it's very hard if they're coming from the sun, around the sun towards our planet, because the sun blinds out a lot of radar. It's really hard to see it, right? So that occurs. The companions can strike Earth. We've seen these large meteorites, things like that. But something happened on April 9th that is much, if my, again, 2 cents is correct, it was much larger than an ordinary meteorite, guys. It would be more like a large asteroid. So let's take a look at the information. Again, this is just my opinion, and we'll go from there. Now, that particular asteroid is called 2024 GQ1. Now, I backed this model back up to the 9th. Notice right there, guys, April the 9th. And what you're seeing in the white is that asteroid. Then the sun's in the center, Mercury, Venus, and then the Earth is blue, Mars is in the red. So let's pull this up to the 9th. Again, this white line shows that this asteroid orbits back towards the sun, and then probably very close to the orbit, about halfway between Mars and Jupiter. See that? And then the gravity of the sun takes back over and pulls it back. But on the 9th, it was right beside us. I'm going to pull this up. Again, the Earth is in the blue line, and I have to get it very close because both objects are in the same spot right here. You can see right there, it says 2024 SQ1. And in the blue writing, guys, let me tilt it up. Maybe you can see it. It says Earth. And let's just get closer. This is how close it was on that day, on the 9th, to our planet. Now, again, they can have companion objects. Sometimes they're seen, sometimes they're not. But that's how close this thing was. And if we step it forward on that day, on the 10th, it's already past our planet. Right there. There's Earth. Just go each day, it goes out further. But again, I think we were dealing with not this object, but a companion with it in its debris trail. Now let's take a look at something. This is a picture from Africa News. It's Cape Town. It's known for huge waves. It's right on the tip of South Africa. This is not of the event. I just wanted to point it out. Many of you have heard throughout history it's one of the most dangerous shipping areas in the world right here. You've got two oceans colliding. You've got extremely high waves here. Now, I've got this on the 8th, the day of the eclipse. And this is the current model as of this morning. I'm going to show it to you. And it ends in a few days there. I'm starting it on the 8th, the day of the eclipse. But they've started erasing information from the event, and we'll look at that also. But on the 8th, everything looked pretty normal. So we go forward in time at about 0400 hours on the 9th. This is universal time. Watch that area. We're going through. Now we're on the 9th. The calendar's moving bottom left. That's 1000 hours. There's one right here past 4. See that anomaly pop up right there? To me, it looks like an impact event with forward scattering to the north, or up in this image. Notice it's saying 83 feet waves. Look how wide the wave patterns are in this event. There was something struck the ocean there, and the wave patterns are moving forward. Now we're going to go forward in time. Today is the 12th. Remember that. And it goes, here we are on the 10th. It's widening out, pointing out that it is not a USO, underwater submerged object, or anything like that. And it didn't come off the Arctic, by the way. It hit in the ocean, whatever it was, and started moving north. But notice by the 11th, it's gone. That was yesterday. Nothing advanced past that. We're going from the 9th, 10th, and 11th, and then it's gone. But in the original, back on the 9th, guys, this went all the way up, and we saw it get into the central Atlantic, then the northern Atlantic off the U.S. East Coast. But here on the 11th, after that point, it disappears. They've come back and taken that off. I've done a video a couple of times. A lot of you have heard me talk about it. There was an impact in the 1400s in the South Atlantic, over in the in the South Pacific. In this case, that wiped out the Chinese fleet as it was about to take over the planet. Anyway, this is back. This is going back to the same time, the 9th it appears. But notice in the bottom right corner, it says into thin air. He's been on YouTube a long time also. He recorded it throughout the events, even into the advanced modeling, and before they started taking it off. Here's the 11th. That was the last image we saw today, right there. And again, you're showing the 80-something feet waves. They're 83.7, 77 foot. Of course, the question is there any information off the South African coast of very high waves? Anyway, now it's gone to the 12th. It didn't go there on today's video. They've taken this off, and now it's modeling forward to the 15th, and this is what they're kind of like a tsunami model, right? 16th, going to the 17th. See, this thing is now up near Iceland, all over the Atlantic Ocean. So not only did they take away the events after the 11th, they took all the forward modeling off. I don't know why or what happened. Again, my opinion is, and I've got the image there on the bottom right, we had an impact. Guys, if I can find the old video about the Chinese fleet getting wiped out as they were taking over the world, I will put that in the link to this video. But I think that's what an impact here. Nothing came off in the Antarctic. It happened at that time, 0400 hours, between 0400 and 0700 hours on the 9th. And then they took the information off after the 11th. Again, we're showing into thin air's modeling that he recorded back a few days ago. There's the expansion. Nothing showing. If you go there today and again go to Vinci Sky, click on waves over to the left, and go back. You've got a calendar there. You can go back to the 8th or 9th and watch it for yourself. But that's what they were predicting happening up until a few more days from now, up to really 4 more days. And you notice it's 26-foot seas by this point. So was there an event that happened and they didn't want to really talk about it? Could they have known this object was coming in and didn't want to scare everybody to death? But it doesn't take a very large object to do that much damage. The meteor that hit in a meteor crater out in Arizona, guys, it wasn't that large, but that's a mile-wide hole. This could have been much larger. The event that happened in the 1400s, Chinese astronomers saw something coming. It appeared to be like a comet. So what they may have been struck by, this fleet, was a segment of that comet, not the entire comet, because they saw a huge explosion in the ocean behind the largest fleet ever in known history, and that was hell-bent on conquering the world. They had already been to the Americas, North and South America, every nation, and they had things like, they had come in, guys, and there's records showing now as they dug up, even along in Louisiana, for example, They would come in, take over a group of people, take their resources, ship them back to China, and basically enslave a lot of the people around the planet. The ones that wouldn't cooperate with them and give them the prices and what they wanted, they just enslaved them like the African gold mines. Anyway, that thing hit. Chinese astronomers were watching it. The waves were 500 feet high. They found these ships. These are large. It makes the Mayflower and that group of sailing vessels look like miniatures. They were huge, football field and bigger, that length. They were found 500 foot in the cliffs around New Zealand and Australia from a wave, and they were burnt, sections of them. And they found them in multiple areas, South Australia, New Zealand, and across the Pacific Ocean, all the way over to where the Easter Island is. Found all of that. And then it wiped them out. They were on the verge, kind of like now, of world domination. And they were taken out. The remains of the tattered fleet went back to China. And China, like many other nations, took it as an omen that their leadership had failed them. The gods had turned away from their leadership and their wanting to have world dominance. So they basically dismantled what was remaining of the fleet and took the money, got rid of the current leader. He was definitely, the gods were mad at him, in their opinion, and built the Great Wall of China. They went from expansion to isolation because of that event and that occurrence in the 1400s that wiped out their fleet. God got tired of that dominance. But guys, in this video, that appears to be what happened. We had something strike in the ocean. Why they're taking off the modeling, I don't know. Maybe it's not as bad as they thought it was going to be. But that would be the only. I've seen Venture Sky for years. I think it's been 10 years on our website. But I've never seen that. And why was it modeled? If it was just like, if you just, that spot had popped up for a couple seconds and disappeared, that dark area with high waves, that's one thing, and that will happen. But why was it continued to be modeled out, and you're seeing it up to the 17th there? And then, of course, let me just say this. We've seen tsunami warnings appear and then be taken down because it wasn't as strong as they thought it may have been by the time it hits land in some location on the planet. Could have been what's happening here. But it would be interesting to see 16th and 17th wave heights in the Atlantic. We'll just have to keep an eye on that. But again, this is my 2 cents of the event. I appreciate you guys watching. It's a heads up. Be safe.